Hello and welcome to DWTT. I'm Gary, this is the Arsenal channel, and this is my review. And was on a pod earlier today, and they could tell by the way I started the video how I'm going to be. So, Daniel, got a smile and sad. I'm all over the place with this game. I was happy before, mad during, and sad after, or any one of those. So yeah, that's what I got from this game. You see the score up there. Uh, oh boy. So 1-1 draw at home. So we gave away the away goal. So let's uh let's start, all right? Let's start with the lineup real quick. You look at the lineup, and first thing I notice is that you've got Bellerin, Xhaka, and Willian on that right-hand side. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue for me, I feel, and for the game, because how much are we going to get on that side? Actually, we weren't that bad, but I feel like that's always a negative for us in terms of whether we get the most out of that side of the field. Saka back, Emil Smith Rowe back, got to be pluses. Hoping to still see something good from Partey. Um, Gabriel and Holding in the middle. How is that going to work out? Um, we'll see. We'll see. It didn't work. It didn't seem so good before, but it's a different game, so maybe they've learned to play a little bit better with each other. So we'll see how that's going to work out. So here we go. Like I said up top, kind of expected that, and with that, expect certain things, certain ways for us to play the game. But we'll see what they do. All right. Once again on the bench, you've got Aubameyang, you've got Pepe, you've got Martinelli. Hopefully we get to see Martinelli in the game. That was my hope going in. Hopefully we get to see him early. That's always my hope. Talk a little bit about the game. So that first 45 minutes was a drag. Really, really slow. I we did really slow in the sense that there were lots of gaps where it just didn't see much going on because I want more for us. I feel like we had most of the possession in that first half, and I expected us to be able to take it to them and get some goals and jump ahead. But the way that first half went, we just didn't seem like we were going to get that to happen. We did get opportunities to score in that first half. Uh, Lacazette had a shot that I expect him to put on goal. He had more than enough touches on it before he shot it. It was nowhere close to goal. He didn't even really have an opportunity to even go get the ball or tap it away. It was so bad. Saka had an opportunity. Same thing. It was far left of the goal. I mean, if he would have been able to curl it in, we would have scored. In this game, I was kind of, screaming for Saka to score because I kind of felt like he put himself in a good situation. He was attacking the whole time, getting past, long passes were getting through to him. Some weren't, but there were a lot getting through to him. So I expected to see him, get there. He got on the ball. First instinct is to cross. I think once in a while I would like him to just try to shoot because usually when he looks up, he's not. I don't think he's seeing anybody from his team there. And more than likely, when you put a cross in, we're not even attacking it anyway. So what's the point? Sometimes, to me, I know that's probably the plan, but we're just not good in the air with the team we have right now. So the crosses are going in. I mean, looking at some of the stats we had, I think we had 19 crosses, and then not much to show for it in that sense when we should be getting more out of our possessions and we're not. Uh, Second half comes around, expected us to change a little bit and see anything a little bit different. Same thing, really slow going in the game in the sense that, kind of going back and forth. I felt like we still had most of the possession, where especially in the attacking side of the field. Still not able to get much out of it. I think we hit we hit the post, uh, and up to that point. Willian got a free kick, curled it around, hit the outside of the post. Later on, we had an opportunity to score, and we hit the post again. That was Lacazette, and I um, yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, that was to me a really bad sign. What happened with him, but we'll talk about that later. You've seen it, so you probably know, but I'll give you my thoughts on it. Uh, then we make some subs finally. I think by that time, Slavia Prague had already made. They're already on there. They already made 3 subs, I believe. At that point, we hadn't made any. So Martinelli comes on. Great. I think he's got about less than 20 minutes to go in the game. Why can't he get more time? I mean, I feel like he needs to get into the game and maybe put enough pressure on him that we can get something out of the game, especially in this case with no goals at that point. But also, I feel like he needs to get himself a little warmed up into the flow of the game, and it would be nice to see him do that and get enough time. But then, once again, 70 minutes seems to be the time when we start putting in players. I mean, we've got 5 subs, should be able to bring in more players a lot sooner. Um, the first thing you see when he comes on, energy, right? Later on, you get Pepe, Aubameyang, and El Neni coming on, and that's when the game changes, right? Our lineup has changed, and now we're on the attack a lot more. First touch for Aubameyang is a shot where cross comes in. He should be able to put it on on target. Not able to, goes wide. But later on, he does. He does make a really good play, and we'll get into that as well. All right, so later on, so we give up the 73 minutes into the game is a telling spot in that game because at that point, similar to what happens later on in the game, you've got Cedric gets the ball, it's starting to go up the left-hand side and kind of stops and goes back. Pass it to Gabriel, and he's able to move the ball forward. 91 minute or 92nd minute of the game. Similar scenario, game's close to being over. Gets the ball, Cedric, and for some reason decides he's not going to continue and take that ball up the field. I don't understand why. I don't. I don't understand why at that point getting the ball further away from our goal seems to be imperative to me. But nope, we pass it back and the ball gets. Uh, Gabriel's not able to control it. He has to kick it out. They get the ball in. They actually are able to get a shot off of a Martinelli's trying to clear the ball, and he tries to clear it right off the shin of the Prague player, who's able to take it in and go for a shot. Leto makes a stop, knocks the ball off the post. Eventually, they get across. Pepe actually gets a knee on the ball, but Cedric lets his man get behind him, and that's all she wrote. Wow, yeah. As I said on the Easy Talk today, you couldn't have scripted it better. That whole sequence of plays just went against us at every turn. Just really bad. What else do we want to talk about? So that's the game. So they've got the away goal and they're going back home. They play really good there. They're going to be probably a lot healthier than us, or a lot healthier than they were in this game. But I don't think we're going to get any healthier than we are at this point. Louise and Karen Tierney are not going to be playing in that game. So the only thing we can do is hopefully get better in our performances so that we can take advantage of whatever they're going to give us. So that's it for the game. We'll probably talk a little bit about it towards the end as I go through all the players and kind of what happened there. So let's get into it. Let's look at my 5. All right, so there you go. So there's my 5. And first thing, I'll just go through the list real quick and tell you why I picked them. Saka coming back from being out, so I wanted to see how he was going to do, see if he was going to be back into form. So I was hoping to see that. Partey, just feel like any better that he gets from one game to the next is going to be good for us. I was hoping to see that, so we'll see. Emil Smith Rowe once again coming back from an injury, hoping that he's going to have be back into form there. Bellerin on that played on that right side. It's been 5 games since he had played, so I'm hoping to see, if he's able to maintain or not maintain, but to be able to show something good in the game after being out for a while. And then Willian on the right wing side was just okay. If we're not going to put Pepe in, and I want to see why Willian's in there and see if he's going to be able to give us something, um, and then go from there. So let's get into it. Let's talk about each one of the players. So first up, Saka. Uh, as I said earlier, you might have heard me say it, I just was so hoping that he would get a shot, get a score. He was a threat going long, lots of long passes, opening up the defense, and is able to get behind them multiple times. Some he was able to get some of the balls he wasn't able to get to. Some were too long for him. Sometimes the defender came up with a really good play, but there was multiple times where it was just him with the ball in the box, and I kind of wanted him to just go full force and attack that goal, put a really strong shot in, and see how it goes. Most of the time, it seems like he was okay to take a cross, but I feel like I really want him to score. So with that in mind, that's kind of why I was like, this is come on, Saka, let's do that. Yeah, like usual, he's such a threat that whenever they have an opportunity, they're gonna, put him down, step on him, and stuff like that. And that definitely happened. The cross that Willian kicks comes from Saka attacking the box, deciding to come out and then getting taken down when they just don't know what to do. Um, what else is there for Saka? Like I said, he's getting back into. I felt like he was back. It was just him now out there. I don't think he had enough with him to help him out when he was able to get past the defense. The passes coming through were really good. Like I said, was handing it to him. Hector Bellerin's getting shot passes to him. Holding made multiple passes, long passes to him. There were some that were long, but there were a few that did make it in there, and he was able to get his foot on it and attack. Um, I think he was threatening all day. We just did not, I didn't see what I would have thought were enough shots from him. I would like to see more. Nobody was able to get on the end of any of his crosses. I believe one of the crosses, I think it's him or Holding, I can't remember now, but cross comes in and I somehow it misses like 4 or 5 offensive players. I don't understand how that happened. I think it was amazing that it didn't hit one of us, one of our players, and at least to stop it and maybe get a shot off. But somehow the cross miss it went right between multiple players from Arsenal, and it just wow, wow, yeah. Yeah, so no, Saka, I believe he had a really good game. Would like to see him score. Other than that, he does. He did what he's supposed to do, and I would like to see him get reap the benefits of the all the work that he's put in. But we just didn't get to do that. All right. So next up is Partey. Now, Partey for me, he had. Some would say maybe one of his worst games. And initially, I thought nuts, no. But on the second viewing of the game, there were there was none of those balls that were breaking the lines like he had when he's got Martin Erdegar in there, Erdegar in there, and I don't know if that's because in Milsrifro they just don't have that same chemistry, or he doesn't give him that doesn't open himself up to the pass, so then it's never looked at, or he's just a different player and they're supposed to work a little bit differently. I mean, it just didn't look the same as it did before when Martin was in there. Uh, Regardless, Partey was really loose with the ball. I mean, he must have made. I mean, I think essentially it's interceptions by the defense, but he must have created many of the interceptions that Prague got in the game. Uh, a lot of his A couple times he just booted the ball out of bounds. Got the ball taken off of his feet. We just don't expect that from him. None really turned into much of an attack, but still they didn't we didn't get to attack from it either. So in that case, it kind of is a negative for Arsenal at least. But he just wasn't right. But I feel like when he's out there, and I feel like when he's not, you can see a big difference in the play in the midfield. So I kind of feel like he needs to kind of work it out, and I hope that he's able to knock it off whatever rust he's got, any dust that's still, any cobwebs that is still there. Waiting for him to show us a little bit more, show us why. Is it a bust right now in terms of money spent? You could say so, but I don't think he's getting a solid footing to start his Arsenal career. So let's see what happens when he gets some rest and comes back. Uh, but yeah, Partey just wasn't a good game for him. All right. So next up, Emil Smith Rowe. Uh, I don't feel like he had a really good game, and at least for most of the game, he was on the pitch, but I just did not see any influence from him in the game that I thought I would, in a game that where we needed to get him to do that. Um, he he was able to, he was able to put some crosses in. He was able, a couple of his passes were long, but I mean, I don't feel like I saw much from him in the game. It's like he kind of disappeared. I mean, a couple of times he, knocked down, stepped on, whatever. That's when I noticed that he was on the pitch. But otherwise, I didn't know that he was out there. I mean, a couple of players disappeared for us uh, in that game. Milsworth Rowe for part of it did. Uh, He did, though, wake up, and I did see, Aubameyang comes in, and he does put that cross into Aubameyang, who just isn't able to get a good opening with his leg, his foot, and put that shot in. I mean, I think he should have scored, um, but it was his first touch, I believe, in the game. So maybe give him the benefit of the doubt there. But that cross came in from Milsroof Row, so he does have it in him, and that's one of the things that when you're starting players and you decide to take them out, hopefully they haven't missed that window, right? Because that was a really good opportunity when you put that cross in, and maybe that comes because of the change in players that were there. I think at that point, right? El Neni's in, I believe, for Partey. I don't, Partey did help on the attacks. They just not didn't seem to me to go to Milsroof Row, so it seemed a little different. And one thing I noticed between Martin and Milsroof Row, sometimes it seems like Martin will stay more to the center, and the Milsroof Row doesn't mind going out on the wings. So he will interchange there if he wants to with the wings. So, but yeah, not a good game from him in the sense that as far as his presence on the field. Next up um, is Bellerin, Hector Bellerin. So Hector, and one of the things that I notice is that I guess we've said it multiple times. I've heard it multiple times that maybe he's supposed to go up there and attack and be up high up on the pitch, and the team just will figure it out behind him. But I just feel like he does that too many times, and it leaves the back end wide open. I think when Prague needed to push the ball forward after either a turnover or interception or whatnot, they were able to do that because our backs, our full backs, are so high up the pitch, and they give up so much space sometimes, and they're not able to get back sometimes. And the ball just makes it all the way to our attack, to the attacking third, and we have to defend at that point to the opponent's attacking third. Um, he was part of, I guess he was in that pre-assist mode where he was able to make some passes forward, uh, uh, and maybe crosses. Um, but I just, Not good for me. Not good for me from him, and maybe that's because he has been out for a while, so his form is just off. But in this kind of game, it felt like even if he had been out for a while, I'm hoping to see something good from him, and I don't think I see it much. He did make there was a save at one point in the game where him and Hector were back, and Hector misplayed the ball, and Bellerin was in there to clean it up and head it down, and then clear the ball away. But in general, I didn't see enough from him. You know, bombing forward, I didn't feel like I saw enough from him. Defending, I always feel like that's suspect with him. So I'm not going to say too much. There's not much more I can say on that one. But I mean, they only scored the one goal, and I don't think that had much to do with him at all. So you know, he was fine. But I just not I needed more. And you know, I guess Chambers being out is probably the reason why he was playing, because Chambers seemed to be okay and may have may have been better in this game. We'll see, we'll never know, but uh, Bellerin got to play, and he did okay. Okay, like to see more, but he did okay. Last up is Willian. Um, Similar to Bellerin and Emil Swift, not enough from him. I mean, I I tried, I rewatched the game, and he was on the pitch, but as I was taking notes as I was watching the game, I don't feel like I said his name and wrote his name down in anything, and that's kind of surprising. I kind of felt like, if he was in the game when he started, that I would get to see much from him, but there wasn't much there to say, not much there to say at all. Uh, So not much. Willian is almost an afterthought in the game to me. I don't know if you saw others. Let me know in the comments. Remember to like and share, and like and subscribe as well. But let me know if you saw something else from Willian. But I just didn't feel like he gave us anything today. And with that, I'll give you a little bonus. I'll give you a bonus of, like, a couple of players also that I felt made a difference in this game. Like I said, Martinelli, Aubameyang, and Pepe came on, and I think the three of them together uh, gave us something different. We were able to take advantage of it, and that of the team that we're playing, and I think that's a plus that we're able to bring them on. I feel like it would have been nice to have them on a lot sooner. I don't know why they came on so late. You look at the substitutions, and Martinelli didn't come on to the 72nd minute. I mean, we've got five subs we can bring on, three players early if we want to, and it would have been nice to have seen them all come on at the same time, closer to, maybe give them 20 minutes at least to play. Pepe and Aubameyang came on about 4 minutes later after that, but I don't think they had enough time to put their stamp on the game and maybe put it out of reach, because like I said, at that point, Aubameyang did get his shot. Pepe got his goal, and we'll get into that. And and Martinelli was just consistently putting pressure on their back line, which I like. I think it kind of opens up the field for us, and we can pick sides sometimes because they're worrying about Martinelli on the left side, and the right side works out for us, and that's kind of how we scored. Uh, you know, to talk about that score, you gotta have to think about Xhaka and what he did. As far as the midfield, many said he was the best midfielder, and definitely was. I mean, he didn't make anywhere close to the number of errors that Partey did. I think the combination of the two makes it easy for them both, for Xhaka to play as good as he does. I don't know if I'm going to see the same kind of performance from Xhaka some games when he's not there with Partey. So I kind of feel like that partnership isn't just based on Xhaka being, consistently good. I feel like the combination is there, and it helps out both of them. It definitely helps out Xhaka, but I think Partey kind of at least shows some presence in there, and we're able to take advantage of it. But Jacques is the one that makes the long pass that goes out, and for any of those who think Aubameyang just doesn't couldn't track back. Well, he can't track back, but he definitely was able to chase forward and put some pressure on the defense on that ball. I mean, he wasn't able to get to it, but he was able to come back behind the defender who lost a little bit of control of the ball. He was able to take it off his foot, and then he sees Pepe, I think, probably out of the corner of his eye, and just if you see him, he kind of flips it to Pepe and ends up falling down just because of the momentum that he was using. Pepe is able to get on the ball, who's able to fight off the defense who's trying to get a hand on him, and then he chips it over the goalkeeper. I mean, splendid, splendid, and that started with Xhaka. So, um, that was really good. But I mean, for the 80 minutes before that, I don't know what we got from Xhaka. I mean, like I said, he did touch the ball a lot, but anything of worth, anything of note, not much. So as a whole, I think our midfield didn't give us much in the way of presence and maybe influence in the game. But Bajaka was able to get us the part was part of that combination of plays that got us the goal. So to that, I clap my hands. So like I said, Martinelli, Aubameyang, and Pepe, their introduction into the game got us the goal. Would have liked to see them kind of help us get more. It seemed like between Aubameyang's pass from Ilsuf Rowe, Pepe's score, that was it from them. Maybe, I think, maybe with some more minutes, maybe we would have seen more, but we didn't. Um, yeah, once again, why the sub so late? Why do we sub on so late? I mean, there was a point, it's like 91 minutes, and the commentator mentions that we haven't had a clean sheet in 14 matches, and there's a couple of minutes left. There's 4 minutes left in extra time. Can Arsenal do that? And we weren't able to. I mean, basically, that goal was the last play of the game because after that, when the broadcast I was watching, when it came back to the game, it was a throw-in to Prague, so we lost the ball off of the kickoff. That's just, I don't know what happened there. Um, there, they if that was their script, it worked perfection to them. I don't think a lot of it was on them. I think a lot of it was on Arsenal. And one of the conversations we always have is it the players or coach? And the players did not perform today. I always think it's the manager because sometimes he puts them in situations that I don't think they can handle. They didn't make their shots. They didn't take their shots. I think a lot of times our scoring opportunities were lost before they started sometimes. So those to me are opportunities lost. So that's how I felt the game went. Players, I always don't feel like blaming the players every time because at some point I feel like a different manager could do better. So if that's my thinking, then I feel like, you know what? Yeah, yeah, I think some of it is on the manager as well. Uh, what else was there? Gabriel and Holding, both between the two of them, I think they played pretty well. I actually thought Gabriel played really good, but I think the combination of the Holding and Gabriel actually played good. They made a lot of long passes. Uh, Holding's passes to Saka stand out a lot because there was there to the wide open area of the field, and Saka is able to go to put a lot of attack on the inside the box. Gabriel also had some, but they looked a little different because the player at the end actually had to drive the ball down and maybe put the cross in himself. So different approaches. We get same response in the sense that we did have the ball inside the box with an opportunity to try to get something out of it. So those two players did uh, did pretty well. Lacazette, he had two of them two opportunities that I think a striker's got to make. The first one is he gets the ball. I think Partey gives him a pass out, and he gets the ball and then he takes a shot, and not even close to the goal. And I don't think there's anybody in front of him, so it's just him and the goalkeeper. He's out, he's got to make the goalkeeper earn his keep, and he didn't. He didn't even make it close. Then later on, defender has a loose ball in the middle of the field. Lacazette's able to pounce on it and take it down. I mean, he's got over half the field to think about what he's going to do next. And it's not until he's well close to the goalkeeper that he decides to take a shot. Which, yeah, it was off by a little bit, but from where he started to where he took the shot, I think he need to take that shot a lot earlier and probably be more central on the field. And I think strikers are supposed to make that. I know many will say Lacazette he's not going to make that shot, so don't even think about it. But he has to put that shot on goal. And I mean, if the goalkeeper makes a stop, great. But in this sense, he's so far. The goalkeeper has to come off his line. There's no way he should be making a stop on this. This should be a goal. Uh, but I think he had two opportunities, and they just, I think that's part of his job is outside of holding up the ball, which he did a terrible job of. He wasn't able to hold the ball up at all. So they get those two opportunities to score, and he just didn't. I think it's disappointing. Um, one thing about Cedric, yeah, not a good game for him. I think he's definitely playing out of position, and he's just not comfortable there. Uh, a couple balls kicked out, but you know, him and Bellerin, I think, I think Cedric plays the right back better, but he's supposed to be able to play the left as well, and I don't think he, you know, can do it as well as we thought he could, or at least as the team thought he could. Some other things that stood out, we had more possession. They had more shots on target. I mean, they had one extra shot than us, which is disappointing because I felt like we had more possession, more attacking possession of the ball. And, it was only 54% for Arsenal, but I think we still should have. I felt like we had more of the attack on it, on the game, in the game. 19 crosses and not much to show for that. Uh, not a good game. And at the end of the day, we got a goal, nice, but they got an away goal, so it's better for them, especially going home now. I mean, can we score two goals? Because that's what I would like. That's what I think. I feel like we need to do. We need to score two goals. We can't give up three, but we need to score two goals and play some good defense, kind of like what we did just before. I think they'll be better on their defense, so I don't think it'll be as easy as it was before. Um, Hopefully we're playing better. Maybe we have to play Martinelli or Aubameyang and Pepe. We'll see if those players get to play in that game because we need to be able to score. I don't think we can sit back and hold on for dear life. I think we gotta put the ball, push the ball forward and be on the attack. So with that, I'm gonna leave you with that. I think this has been more than enough. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Try not to be as somber as the game was, but this is where we are with Arsenal. Hope you enjoy what I had to say. If you have any comments, let me know. Just remember, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and if you put notifications on, you won't miss my next show. All right, thank you. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening. A good morning, depending wherever you are when you get this. And come on, you Gunners. And then I like to leave you with these words. Life is a journey. Don't waste a trip. Enjoy the ride. All right, thanks.